Does this sound familiar? You sign up for a new workshop, then a podcast episode unlocks 3 new creative ideas for you. You download a freebie, save the email, and then tell yourself, this will be great. And you look forward to it. And you think, when I finally have time for it, I'm going to really dive into this. But time never shows up. And what started as genuine curiosity now feels like an invisible to-do list that follows you around everywhere. One listener told me that once she brings something into her awareness, it kind of becomes a to-do for her. She said, I don't even have time to read all the information that I'm gathering or to research it even, but I end up feeling guilty. This cycle is something that can repeat again and again for highly sensitive people. Maybe you've tried planning better, maybe you've tried cutting back, but then what happens is something really good pops up again and you're pulled right back in. The thing is, it's something exciting that's drawing you, so it's extremely hard to resist that because it's something you're interested in. But the problem is, it's like opening a new browser tab every time something excites you. You know, a course or an idea or a resource, and you think, I'll come back to this. But the tabs multiply as they so often do until your system starts to slow down or even crash. Each open tab is like a promise to yourself. Like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to attend to you. I'm going to give you time. And even when you're not looking at those tabs, they're all still there, quietly draining some of your energy. For me, this shows up in running a business. You know, I have ideas for new courses. I love creating new systems. I'm thinking of new podcast episodes all the time. And I might be out walking or, in the shower, and suddenly I'm outlining a whole new program in my head. Or I'll hear a client say something that was really insightful, and I'll immediately think, oh, that could be a great episode, or that could be a whole new series. And I get excited, I write it down, I create a new folder for it, and then another idea comes, and another, and another. So each one seems like it really does feel so important. Each one is so aligned, and so I'm so excited about it. But what happens is soon I'm staring at 17 unfinished folders, and each one is quietly saying to me, remember me, don't forget. And so even though nothing's technically wrong, I do something that I love, and I'm grateful for the creativity, but there's this kind of quiet pressure that builds in the background. And it can become kind of an emotional weight as well that builds, not because I'm failing, but because I care. And as HSPs, we care. It's one of the hallmarks of our trait. The problem is there's just not enough time to do it all. And that is when good things start to feel like stress. So the problem is that now you're not just overwhelmed, you're confused. You start wondering, am I mismanaging my time? Am I not living up to my potential? Why can't I follow through on things that I want to do? And your nervous system can start really buzzing. This is your mind getting overstimulated, over-aroused, and starting to reach that point of overwhelm. You're not lazy, you're just overloaded. And worst of all, you start to mistrust your own enthusiasm. This is the hardest part because we are so like kids. We're just so enthusiastic. And when we realize that we can't do it all, we start wondering, what do I trust? It can become very confusing. The very things that make you feel alive can end up feeling like a liability. Like, this is just a trap. I'm going to go explore this, and then pretty soon there's no more balance in my life. And then what happens is if you stay in this loop, your creative energy can start to get diluted. So for example, you sit down with the intention to journal or to read or to finally finish an inspiring workshop that you signed up for. But just as you get settled, you remember an email newsletter with a new technique you wanted to try. And then you think, maybe I should research that other program that I bookmarked last night. And suddenly you're checking tabs, rereading notes, skimming another video, never quite landing anywhere. You're still doing things, but the problem is, and this is really the problem, the depth is gone. And as HSPs, we thrive on depth. We're built for depth. We love depth. But when I'm doing 5 things at once or trying to switch back and forth, it's nearly impossible to go as deeply as I would like to go. So instead of giving your full attention to one practice or one idea and letting it nourish you, you're scattering your energy across many different directions. And the problem is nothing sticks. What started as genuine curiosity can turn into mental noise and guilt for not following through. So it's really not about the information at this point. It's about your energy. Your energy is getting fragmented. Your attention is getting fragmented. And that leads to a feeling of overwhelm quicker than anything. And as highly sensitive people, we reach that point faster than most people. So what is the answer? How do you deal with this? You might think that it's about managing your time better. And to some degree, there can be some truth in it. But it's really not the core of the problem. You may think that you just need a better system. But that's not really it either. You're not doing too little. The problem is you're taking in too much. And the real issue is that even good things can become toxic if you don't have discernment gates. What I mean by that is if you're just floundering in lots of different things, all of which you're excited about, and not going in more deeply on any of them, it's going to become not only overwhelming, but frustrating, and you can even start taking it out on yourself as a result. As HSPs, we're wired for depth, and we're not wired for doing everything. It's just not what we're cut out to be. So the belief that you have to act on every good idea is what's stretching you thin. This is the crux of it. This is what's breaking your energy. This is what causes the overwhelm, the frustration. It's a belief. It's an idea. I have a million great ideas, and I have to act on all of them. I have to bring them to fulfillment. Total impossible ask. What if you didn't need more time? What if you just needed stronger filters? The HSP that really thrives, in my experience, is one who doesn't do less because they're afraid, but does less because they've learned how to choose. And this is a tough thing. We HSPs love to hang out in all possibilities. We can do it all. We can see how everything could work, but we have to get our feet into the earth a little bit. And that means coming down into the concrete world of picking something and choosing. When we do, we open up the possibility of going deep, which is actually another part of our trade. So HSPs who thrive protect their bandwidth like it's the most essential thing in the world, like it's their life depends on it, because in a way it does. You can't think your way out of overload. You have to filter your way forward. So if energy is being hijacked by too many good things in your life, and you don't want to keep feeling scattered or guilty for not keeping up with each inspiration, this is exactly why I created the HSP Inner Freedom Program. It's for HSPs who want to stop spiraling in content overload and finally feel calm and clear and creatively alive again. Go to the show notes or visit trueinnerfreedom.com/solutions to book a free HSP Inner Freedom call with me, and we'll walk through exactly where your energy is leaking and I'll show you the exact system I use to help sensitive creatives protect their bandwidth without shrinking their ambition. You don't need to quit being curious. You just need to stop letting it control you. Let's find the balance. I'll see you there.